Good morning. We had a good weekend in Virginia. Not two sweeps, but I thought we played fairly well, and two places that actually are very tough to play in, and got to see some other players that haven't got a lot of playing time do some really great things on Sunday, and you never know when you might need them. So it was good to get them in right before the tournament, and I think also that last weekend was tough because everybody's talking about this coming week with the Pitt and Stanford games. And so it's kind of like we had to get the rock out of the way before we get to the Rumble. That's what I won't take credit for that. That's what Dan Meskey always says. If he heard me say that and I didn't give him credit, he'd probably be mad. So
Open up for questions.
Dani, it's been a month since you guys last faced Pitt. What do you think how have you guys improved since that last meeting with the Panthers?
I think we've improved a ton. Our serving is better, and I really expect that to show being at home. Typically teams serve tougher at home than on the road. I also think our offense is a little more diverse, and we've got some more players that are hitting at a higher percentage, and hopefully we can have a little more balanced offense this second time around.
As you mentioned, a lot of people have been asking about Pitt for a while. How have you been impressed by how your teams, address that or are approaching it from a mental aspect?
Yeah, I've just been really impressed the way we've gone one day at a time, and really embraced all the practice opportunities. I think we've gone really hard in practice, harder than teams in the past, partly because we have, everybody's healthy and we have a lot of bodies in each position, but I just think they've been really focused on improving because they know that, when we played Pitt the first time, we weren't even close to our ceiling. And I think they still believe we're not quite there, and we still have more that we can tap into, which makes practice fun and our team stay really eager. And I think players that haven't played a lot are proving they're ready, which is really cool this time of year, and just feeling confident as a coach to be able to make some switches and for players to be able to perform that haven't had that experience.
Dan, you guys are one of just 3 teams to take Pitt to 5 sets this year. What is it, do you think, that allows you to match up with a team of that caliber so well from maybe the X's and O's type of standpoint?
I just think we both of us play with a lot of grit and kind of have the attitude that, I guess it's not X's and O's, but we have an attitude that we can win, and same that they have. And I think rivalry games can always go either way. Now, X's and O's, it's tough in volleyball because, you can talk about matchups, but I think it's more just, the flow of the way we play, and we typically have players step up in those matches and perform really well.
Dani, I think you touched on this before, but kind of parallel rises between your program and the Pitt's program. How have you pushed each other over these last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, you can just see the back and forth of the outcomes of the matches and then what we've done in the postseason. So if you just put us side by side, it's pretty crazy. I think the overall record since I've been at Louisville, I don't even know what it is, but maybe they have us by 1 match or 2 now after the previous one. And then we both, done things that our programs have never done before in the past few years. So with Final Four, Elite Eights, Final Fours, and I just think it's been great to have somebody else in the ACC to go toe-to-toe with. And we always joke, sometimes that's annoying because, you want to be the only one, but I truly don't know if either of us would have been able to do it if it had been for each other, just pushing each other and showing each other the way, that it can happen, and that the ACC is one of the top conferences, and we can get great players in this conference that can compete at a national level. But I saw it's a red out, so please wear your red. Block out all the blue.
How challenging is it to then have to turn around and go to Stanford after that national game?
Yeah, super challenging. We it's not even arguably, we have the toughest ACC schedule out of any team, with the opponents we play twice, and then having to travel the last game of the year all the way out to California. And it's funny, I don't want to complain about that because Stanford's been traveling all year, and Cal, that's very, very taxing. But it is tough, and just the game right before the tournament, and depending on what happens on Wednesday, there's still a lot riding on that game, but it's hard to not look towards the tournament and feel like, you know, that game is just as important as every other game, and it will be. But I think the time change will be difficult. I think everything about it's going to be difficult, and so it's a little stressful.
Anything else? Okay.
A real pro volleyball draft. So just second time ever that the pro leagues have had a draft. So it might be kind of cool to follow that along because we have some great seniors that I think will get drafted. So it's unique for our sport and new and kind of exciting for those guys. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Coach.